What we're doing here is creating fun, simple, magical, micro distinctions, and frictionlessness that free exponential abundance in your money, time, and magic. And we're anchoring on it every single day. And like, why do we do it? We do it because some of us are solopreneurs, some of us are entrepreneurs, some of us are, raising money, some of us are giving in contribution to charities, and all of us here need like an outlet. We don't need an outlet. We're choosing to come together in an ecosystem, a watering hole of individuals that are forward-thinking, heart-centered influencers that want to make the world an even greater place. And on this huddle is an opportunity for us to anchor in our energy, change our state, change our focus, step into our physiology, into our zone action. These calls are designed to help you step into your zone action on top of many other things. And also, every call is different. Sometimes we talk about racial injustice. Sometimes we talk about the 7 levers of sales and marketing process mastery. Sometimes we talk about Adam's sweatbands. There's like a wide gambit of conversations that happen here. And what I'm present to, from the last, this last week, is the importance of the prism in which you're listening. The prism in which you're listening. Now, for everyone, like you're here, whether we're interviewing someone, whether we are, going deep into a lesson in a certain area of the formula, you have an opportunity to listen through the prism of how can I apply this to my life and my business. That's like one prism. The second prism is how can I take this and how can I teach it? There's one, how can I apply it? And there's another one of how can I teach it? And then there's a multitude of other prisms, suboptimal, some positive, some lower vibrational. All of those are there. A couple ones to try on are how can I take what's here and apply it to my life and business? And number 2 is how can I take what I think I'm learning and teach it and share it? Because for everyone, one of the greatest accelerants in the rise of your mastery, which is through integrity-based human influence, the rise of your money, time, and magic, is to become proficient in teaching and sharing the formula, self-influence process mastery. And a lot of the fine folks in our elite program, they are like there. They're like, I'm in, I get it, I understand, I want to train my team. Andy Zapata's like sending videos of like him training his entire team. Ruth is like going out there like a lunatic. Jen is like, I'm going crazy, I want to bring everyone here. And like that energy was not here in January. And it is here now. It's here now.
And guys, and Fernando, everybody, thank you. Good morning. Happy Fun Friday. What leads to that energy is fun, aspirational, goddess and Zeus energy. It is the connecting with people. It is removing head to head and going heart to heart. And it was demonstrated this weekend. And all you need to do is replicate that where you are with people around you, and you will find those answers. And some people will be a little more skeptical, and there'll be some people that are going to be challenging, but you will find your people. And just like the video, how to make a movement, those people will come in. Head-to-head fails all day, every day. The only way head-to-head works is if somebody else builds a platform and head-to-head comes in and sells something from the head. It's heart-to-heart. And speaking of all of these great things, we got 2 wonderful unblinded folks. Michael Smikun, who I've had the privilege of, handing a $1 million bonus check to, which he had the privilege of creating, and on the flip side, co-creating top 100 national jury verdicts with me, and a leader amongst leaders in terms of being one of the top attorneys, work ethic, intellectually, on his feet, arguing in the full gamut in the country. Fred Pinto, who is one of the most ingenious thinkers in the law I've ever seen. And so, Fred and Michael, what's happening, my friend?
Hey, Sean. What's happening? Massive amounts of FOMO from watching what happened this past weekend. It was actually sad because I remember when we went to Grand Cayman 2 years back, and we were, I don't know if this has been shared, but drinking rum off of 2 competing pirate ships. It kind of made me think about that. And I'm like, how did I miss this weekend? I got Dr. Gupta messaging me, telling me I should have listened to you about not going in the water with Sean. Michelle's messaging me. I'm looking at these pictures and I'm like dying inside. And I'm like, how did I not go? So it's been, that's probably what's most present.
Well, conversely, let me apologize to you and to all folks of the Jewish faith for when we reserved, the oceanfront house, because that was a part of this, that my oceanfront, that I did not look at the calendar to think in terms of the Jewish holiday. So happy holiday. And it is beyond understandable, of course, that you were not there as the amazing husband and father that you are, and of course, person of faith. So yes, that will definitely not happen again. But thank you for that. And yes, there was like competing pirate ships drinking rum. This time we had one pirate ship. Next time we'll have two, as we did in Grand Cayman. I will also share this, that Michael in the Fun Energy was also made the foolish error, or maybe it was involuntary, of playing Truth or Dare in Grand Cayman. And he was definitely not having fun in the Ritz-Carlton Lounge with the entire Caligula team.
Yes.
Michael, am I relatively effective at creating dares and dynamics?
Yes, when you had dared the random woman at the bar to take a body shot off of me, I quickly exit stage left and met up with my wife and ran
Michael's
as fast
wife,
as I could.
And Michael's wife was there. And I only did that because there was complete craziness going on amongst that group. So I like to enjoy and have fun of putting crazy energy together with crazy energy. So it sounds a lot worse than it was. I knew that was not going to happen. I knew Michael's wife was there. I knew this person was full of crazy fun energy with her crew. And we were laughing about making Michael wildly uncomfortable. And
it is not easy to do that. And I squirmed and ran. So
yes, Michael literally ran out of the place. So it was very, very funny. And then, yes, so there's more.
And
we were playing, go ahead, Michael, sorry.
And Sean, this is Fred here. And I just want to echo Michael's, the massive feeling of FOMO as well. I mean, I'm also of the Jewish faith, as you know, but Jewish holidays would not have been enough to stop me from coming to the Unblinded. I needed the excuse of a global pandemic and our border, our Canadian-US border being shut down for non-essential travel. That was like the only thing that would keep me away. And man, just following it on social media, I was, first of all, like the amount of fun that you guys seem to have in the middle of this pandemic, where everybody's just kind of like fear obsessed and scared and kind of isolated. I just thought it just looked so beautiful. And I felt like, oh my God, just being around that fire, being on the beach, it would have been so fantastic. And I got you, Sean, to promise me that as soon as I'm allowed to travel down to the States, that you're going to be doing another weekend like that, because I am so in need of that human connection that man, it just seems so beautiful for you guys to pull this off in the middle of this this moment is just something absolutely beautiful. So hopefully I'm there for the next one.
Absolutely. And so Michael, this would be helpful. So we're dropping in a little bit of Fun Friday. Could you share, right, how we've built, and it's ebbed and flows, right? Because there's the construction of Unblinded. So right now, at this very minute, in the pandemic, we haven't been having a complete abundance of fun, in the space of Caligula, although some of our Caligula family was at the Unblinded weekend. But just give a little bit of so people can think about, because we talked this past weekend, and we've been talking about it on the Huddles and the Mastery, the fact that we have at a minimum 4 heroic unique identities. The heroic unique identity of us as ecosystem merger partner. We have the heroic unique identity of us as a speaker, like speaking at an event. We have the heroic unique identity of us as the deliverer of services. And we have the heroic unique identity of us as somebody that people want to work with. So they see their future in us and they're going to become part of our team and scale. So you've watched me do that at Caligula. You've done that at with the litigation team, having these people that love and care about you very, very much, obviously. And you want to share a little bit about the fun energy of what that looks like. What does Halloween at Caligula look like? What does the holiday party, Christmas and holiday party at Caligula look like? What does summer, beach party Caligula look like? What is randomized lunches and get food in, just share a little bit about what those things look and feel like. What if you dressed up on Halloween, and what does that look like because people would see you as a great lawyer, probably in your head, what does it look like overall, and share some of your participation and some of that fun and magic in building a business.
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, but obviously besides grant came in, which was tremendous and just like life-changing. And by the way, Brian Williamson just messaged me and wanted me to remind you that the person who you had asked to take the body shot actually agreed. But yeah, like Halloween, for example, like everybody.
The person did. The person was chasing Michael Smikun to do a body shot off of him. That was
and Brian reminded me that's why I ran, because she was actually chasing me. So yeah, I had forgotten that. But yeah, like, you know, for example, Halloween, to this day, my daughter still thinks that the only thing that we do is eat candy, like at work. So when I'm going to work, she'll say, bring me back candy, because we have all the kids of, you know, all of the family members, you know, come dressed up at Halloween. Like I remember, you know, my favorite costume of yours was a toss-up between Batman and you wearing tights as Peter Pan, because you have fantastic legs. I'm just putting that out there. You know, and you know, we remember, I don't know if you remember this, but we swore Chris Miller into the bar with me dressed as Mr. Incredible and you as Aquaman. So that like cheapened the entirety of the experience.
Yeah, and so let's go with that one again. Chris Miller was sworn in as a lawyer in New Jersey.
Yes.
With Michael on video, with Michael dressed as Mr. Incredible and with me dressed as Aquaman. This is the moment like his family would have been waiting for. He would have been waiting for, and yeah, that's how we did it. So back to you, Mike.
Yes. So you know, it was those kind of things that I think just tied everything together, because you know, I think it's cliche to say work hard, play hard. And it's like, it couldn't be any funnier that you brought up this issue today, Sean, because I don't even know if you got it yet or if somebody told you this, but last year I wrote a message to the whole firm about 10 years that I've been with the firm. That was last year. And just today I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I wrote it again for the 11th year that I wrote up. And it was 11 breakthroughs that changed my life, right? And, you know, obviously...
Michael, would you mind, by the way, brother, I didn't know you did that. Would you mind posting that on the Unblinded page? So people, so you can get an idea of what you want your heroic, unique identity to be as you build and scale with your team of leaders. So would you mind doing that, Mike, or no?
I do not mind, but
this is Adam. This is Adam. I want to just jump in real quick, Mike, because I read that first thing this morning when I woke up. And the interview was just, I was laughing, smiling.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Maybe I'll edit that part out, because Sean might turn red if I talk about my first interview. But that was
No, I love it. I love it. This is what it looks like. I love it.
Yeah, Sean. Yeah. So I come to my interview with the firm back in 2009. I'm a freshly minted lawyer. I'm wearing a sharp suit, you know, just had my hair done, the whole 9 yards. I'm going to ace this interview. I show up in a suit, polished shoes, you know, 3 crisp resumes in my attaché case to
Michael had his eyebrows waxed.
I did.
Nose hairs.
I did. I shaved my legs for this. It was incredible. And I'm there, the door's locked to the office, Sean's nowhere to be seen, and the dude shows up 45 minutes late in like sneakers and like shorts, and he's like, hey, like nothing. And you know, he doesn't have the keys to his office. He can't like get in. It's like, this is like so central. Like he's just like, yeah, but it doesn't even matter. Do you know like the Dunkin' Donuts in Emerson? I'm like, I don't. And he's like, well, it's right down the road. Let's go do your interview there. So again, cheapening the whole experience. Here I am.
That's great.
For this job for 3 hours. And I think I got in 5 words edgewise. And at the end of the 3 hours, he's just like, so okay, when he goes, I'll talk to you later. And he just walks out of the interview like it was just done. And I'm like, do I have the job? Like, are we going to talk about like salary? Like, what just happened here? And then the controller of the company has to call me and tell me I actually got the job. Like, he just like got up and left. Like, it was like, he was like, all right, great. So,
and tell him where Sean was. Tell him where Sean was coming from.
Oh, he was coming from his son's baseball game, and he was like, you know, he didn't even try to explain it away, but it was quintessential Sean. You know, it's just like magic moment, stuck. Who cares about time and boundaries and all that other fun stuff? And he just like showed up like late. It was like not even a thing.
And they went right back to the game, you know, like right after that. And then, you know, the controller of the company called me and we worked through the logistics of it. And,
well, listen, Michael, I had to fit the interview in between Tyler's like second and third at bats. So it was perfectly timed.
Yeah, and I think you guys spent a couple hours there, even though it was like we said, you were like, it wasn't even a real interview. It was more of just a friendly conversation.
Yeah, it wasn't an interview. He was just telling me about like everything, like the case, his belief systems, and the whole. I mean, look, it was a super interesting interview. I would say that. But the funny thing is that Sean went to a Dunkin' Donuts and he doesn't eat that kind. Like he didn't eat anything there. He was just like using it as like his office space. Like I'm like, oh, do you want something? He's like, no, I don't.
That's great.
So Fred, and then Mike, I want to come back. So I want to make sure people then realize what Zeus energy looks like. That fun, heart-centeredness, and love. What Zeus energy looks like. And if you could just do your best in 30 seconds to explain the level of intensity that my Zeus energy had at trial in Arizona. Like, just like give your best encapsulation of the minute-to-minute daily focus and intensity of what that looked like. So just give a quick contrast and a reminder. And then Fred, we had a very fun initial interaction as well. We met at Business Mastery 2. Fred was considering Platinum Partnership. Scott Hemphrey brought him up, and it was like, yeah, like let's rock and roll. We had a less dramatically fun initial encounter, but essentially I was selling Fred in integrity to come into Platinum Partnership. So what were your initial impressions of like our interactions there, Fred, at Business Mastery, and then maybe the Unblinded immersion, and all of a sudden you're up on stage and talking to Jay Abraham, you know, like you want to see those dynamics.
To be honest, Sean, I'm still trying to figure out what happened like in that interaction. It was it's like a 10-minute interaction. Okay. Like the ask was Scott Humphreys was like pitching me on Platinum Partnership. It was like, you know, over $150,000 investment. And I was like, in my head before talking to him, I was like, yeah, maybe in 4 or 5 years, I'll do something like that. Then he introduces me to Sean because I tell him like, you know, what I'm looking for is a partner in the States, like somebody who's got integrity, somebody who's like, you know, at a really high level in the game. Introduces me to you. We talk. We don't even talk business. It was just such a powerful heart connection of, I just felt like this is a person who has integrity. I just felt the integrity. And I was like, I want to know more. And I want to build a relationship with this person. It really came, it was truly, truly heart to head, as opposed to my usual process, which is very head to head. And within 20 minutes, I had signed up to Platinum Partnership. And it was like one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. It's truly like a mysterious moment for me. And it's still to this day a moment that I'm extremely grateful for, that I had somewhere inside of me. I felt that was the thing to do. I'm telling you, it was very weird. I'm still trying to understand it, Sean. I'm very serious.
And then Fred brings up his wife to introduce her to me. And I thought she was like, wanted to murder me. Like, what did you do to my husband that you joined?
And I'm like, yeah, babe, trust me, this is good. I'm like, trust me, this is good. This is the vibe. This is the vibe I'm looking for in my industry. Because you know, Sean, in our industry in law, it's a lot of like, you know, it's a lot of head to head. It's a lot of like ruthless types. It's a lot of people who chase the money and chase the. And that's so not the vibe I got from you. And I'm like, for me, at the end of the day, it's all about service and helping people. And that's just really the energy I felt from. Like, this is a good person. This is a person who likes to help other human beings and connects with them and likes to empower them. And I'm like, this is the vibe that I want to keep developing in my space. And so I just had to tell my wife to like trust me on a faith basis. And of course, since then, it's just been everything that we could have possibly imagined and even more. And you know, you mentioned Jay Abraham at the Unblinded event last January. That was a major breakthrough for me as well, because just being in that environment, immersed in that environment, and just surrounded by all these amazing people, and being on stage with Jay Abraham and sharing really like my sort of conundrum, which is like, my passion is helping entrepreneurs and business owners. But I just feel like, you know, with the regular billable hour model, but I'm kind of limited, you know, like I can't really help them as powerfully as I like to help them. And, you know, that's where Jay gave me a major distinction of like, you know, well, try to find vocabulary and language to really get to them so you can really convey those ideas and those methods. And that became a breakthrough for me to create, you know, my first online course, Fit to Exit. And man, it's just been like one breakthrough after another in the past year. So really, Sean, I know I've told you this many times before, but again, thank you so much for opening up all those doors to me. It's just been a journey of the heart, a journey of the mind, a journey of the soul. It's been absolutely everything. It's so way above and beyond like professional development. It's been just a complete heart and soul experience as well. So yeah, I'm just filled with gratitude always.
Well, thank you, Fred. And we've already built something together. I think that has more than paid for Platinum Partnership already, and it's just the beginning. So that is extraordinary.
Absolutely.
Thank you, brother. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Mike, so real quick, so people don't get confused. So they say, yes, it's all good to have fun. Like, how would you convey? So we talked about Aquaman, tights, Peter Pan tights. We talked about, fun and crazy, truth or dare games and Grand Cayman. What was the level of focus like in Arizona? Now let's flip it to the Zeus energy. So what did you see? How would you describe? Yeah.
So, I mean, the transformation, from that fun energy to like when Zeus is required, when preparation is required, is unreal. We worked, and I'm not even joking. This is not an exaggeration when I say it. We worked 21-hour days, so we slept for 3 hours every night when we were in preparation mode. And we would prepare for 4 hours before trial and another 4 hours after trial, and trial was all day long, and it was unreal, right? And
what time would we go to bed and what time would we wake up?
Normally it was 11, and we'd be up by 2 or 2:30. So like 2:30, like a 3.5-hour night felt like a good night, and it hurt in the bones. And it was for almost a month. I think it was 23 days. 23 days like that. And then literally, like, if you felt pain in your bones from being that tired, that was the same thing.
Like, we're losing you a little bit. We're losing the audio just slightly.
Yeah. Can you hear me a little bit better now?
Much better. Yep. Good.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah,
it like hurt.
Pain in bones.
Yeah. So the pain of the amount of preparation and the time that we had put in and the lack of sleep would like hurt you in your bones. But your desire, your need to innovate every single night to improve, from the date of trial, the information that we got that day and how to access the jury better was unbelievable, right? It was just like constant innovation. And one of the biggest challenges in working with Sean, and this is a really big challenge, it doesn't seem like it, is that Sean's desire to present at the highest level and innovate and make distinctions at the crazy highest levels pushes you to the absolute breaking point and beyond, because you need to prepare even more and literally construct the bridge underneath of him as he steps out. And Sean has the most absolute utmost faith in his team. And so literally, like during closing argument, for example, we had 150, a PowerPoint presentation with 150 slides. And like Sean walked into the room, felt the energy of the room, and the entire closing argument, which is about an hour and a half in length, changed from the first word. I literally had to look over to our AV guy, take the laptop away from him and say, is there a way for me to jump slides without the jury seeing the jump? And he goes, yeah, just type in the number. And so literally I had to like listen to what Sean was saying to know where he was going, and jump to a slide to show the jury and seamless transition.
Mike, he keeps disappearing. Stay in that one spot. That's far away again.
Yeah. Can you hear me better now?
Perfect. Yep.
Yeah. So literally we're jumping slides. I have no idea where he's going to go next. And he felt the room and what was needed. And he decided right then and there, this is everything. This is the way he is. Like, I'm innovating, the slides be damned. I don't care, because I feel something. I feel an energy, and I have to take advantage of it. So the amount of like energy that goes into those distinctions and innovations, even keeping up with him, like will again push you to that breaking point and beyond. So like his need to tap into that at the highest levels, always and consistently, is just, it's what pushes you to your limits. It breaks your comfort zones, and you just become different as a result of working with him every single time.
Yeah. No, thank you, brother. And final on this point, everybody, the speed of innovation that's occurred at Unblinded in service of you, in service of creating assets like Real Raw, in creating 10 by 10, and wait till you see what's coming in 10 by 10 when we get around to it, the innovations off of the assets we've developed. It's going to be mind blowing. in your service again. And the innovation process is rooted in egolessness, not falling in love with your work and not saying, you know how long we took to put that slide thing together? F that. It doesn't matter. All that matters is the outcome. It doesn't matter what the plan was. It doesn't matter that, we had 150 slides. We're going to use 26 of them. And we're going to do the closing argument this way because it's not optimal the way it was created. And we paid a company $250,000 to do stuff, and it was worth it. And it's a long, much more complex conversation, right? But at the end of the day, we essentially discarded 95% of how they did the work, but it was still an effective process. Could have been optimized. Maybe we could coach them a whole bunch, but we discarded 95% of the structure of how it was and recreated the entire thing on the final morning. And not only won epically, resoundingly, like 127-0 was a football game. And that's how fun energy exists and how innovative energy exists. And then in the space of innovation, final, we'll take it home, is Fred and Michael are standing for transformation in the legal and business world. Fred has been an absolute straight up lunatic in a partnership in a company called Fit to Exit. And they run the Exit Lab on Fridays. It'll be today. And this is an imperative space. And there's a launch coming up on October 25th. And this launch is going to be rooted in the idea that business owners, the same way that we leak and hemorrhage value out of our businesses, we leak and hemorrhage in our ecosystem merging, sales, marketing, speaking, et cetera. We hemorrhage it in our influence process and self-mastery. A subcomponent of our process mastery where we hemorrhage is the lack of legal structures to retain value and transition value. And for most people, aside from their home, their business will be their greatest asset and value. And you absolutely want your business to have a much greater value than your home, transitional value. We don't want to just own a job. We want to own a business and company. So Fred, I know that's deeply on your heart. I'm thrilled to be a part of this, and I'm blinded to be a part of this and our partnership. And this is not more than a 30-second spot on this. So just for 30 seconds, why do you think this matters? And did I accurately present what's happening to business people and business owners?
Definitely, very accurately. And what it is for me is my frustration in my career as a transactional lawyer is I realize how entrepreneurs and business owners fall into their exits, and they don't shape their exits ahead of time, and they're not properly educated on all the different exit strategies that are available to them. And then depending on what the exit strategy is, depending what their vision is for their life, so different people want different things. But if they can start shaping an exit vision that's attractive and ideal to them, we can then work backwards to kind of design their business in a way that's really oriented so they can accelerate safely and realistically towards their ideal exits. So Fit to Exit is a program that gives them the tools, the strategies, the tactics, where they can define an exit vision and then start accelerating towards it very, very tangibly, what I call Monday morning knowledge, like stuff that they can start implementing right away to make sure their business is ready and fit for their ideal exit. So that's what the program's all about. Over 20 hours of content. We've got advice we've got tax planners, we've got business valuators, we've got VCs, entrepreneurs who've exited. So tons of bonus content, and really, again, super tangible day-to-day strategies that they can implement right away to start shaping their exits towards their ideal direction they want to give their lives ultimately. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And then what's in it for you? Thank you, Fred, Michael, as we take it home, is we're creating sub ecosystems. We've told you, like, build your platform in partnership with Unblinded, build your ecosystems within the ecosystem. So that's Fred and Michael are building their ecosystem within the ecosystem. The Exit Lab exists. It's an incredibly awesome place, and it's only going to expand dramatically as Fred and Michael continue to implement the formula in terms of ecosystem merging and acceleration, which they've done a beautiful job of already, and are going to continue to do so. There's going to be the Exit Lab Real Raw Open, or Fit to Exit Real Raw Open. We're going to figure and agree on naming of it, and it's going to be having business owners and entrepreneurs coming on it. We talked about intersections with the brilliant and amazing Elle Anderson and what that may look like in terms of other ventures in and around this space with L being a genius in acquiring companies, exiting companies. So it's like ecosystems within the ecosystem of all kinds of offshoots that are going to happen. But yeah, it begins. And without a doubt, as we create Unblinded, we're looking at what are indispensable components for people that are here, that are sub-distinctions that need attention. Legal, right? Innovation law, exiting your company is a key distinction, the legal components of it. And I couldn't be more honored and privileged, Fred and Michael, for this. And if you're an attorney going, well, okay, they got that space wrong. Fit to exit needs partnership. Fit to exit needs expansion. The same way Unblinded needs coaches, trainers, leaders, and people in verticals. So does Fit to exit. And Fit to exit is looking for partners, looking for it to expand and grow. Is that a fair statement, Michael, Fred?
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. We've got so much room to integrate professionals, entrepreneurs, business owners of all kinds. We're creating a community around this, and a community that helps each other figure out ways, tactics, strategies, knowledge to, again, shape their exit visions and accelerate towards them in a realistic and safe way. So there's tons of room available for any entrepreneur that's in the business realm, that's interested in ultimately exiting one day. Yeah, absolutely. Our arms are wide open, especially to the amazing Unblinded community. As you know, Sean, we are practitioners of the formula. We believe in everything that Unblinded is all about. We love this community to death. And man, we just want to add more value to it in any way we can. So 100%.
Yeah. I mean, the birth of this is through the immersion. The birth of this is through ecosystem merging between Fred, Michael, and I, Cal, Yua, and Unblinded. Like, this is literally what we're explaining for you guys to do. You're literally witnessing it on the phone. Heart-centered, amazing people. Like, that's what it is. So final for today, Fred, Michael, right? We're going to do another event soon. And I'm not telling anybody what, the most adventurous, crazy thing we're going to do. And we did certainly something totally adventurous and crazy with bodies flying around like pins in a bowling lane. Will you guys, sight unseen, no matter what it is, will you agree to participate full out? So I'm asking you, Fred, you, Michael, if you're able to be there, right? The borders are open, you're there, it's happening, right? Will you agree on this call, flag in the ground, that no matter what the activity is that we're all doing, that you guys will do it? Michael?
Oh my God, what? I'm busy warning people not to do this, and you the answer is probably. So it's not probably yes. Yes.
No, it's a yes or a no.
Yes. My wife is going to hate me when she hears this, but yes.
Hello to yes. Fred Pinto.
Sean,
what say you, brother?
It will take the Royal Mounted Canadian Police to keep me away from your next event. So they better come armed and they better come ready, because I'm charging at them.
Yes, and I used to play with you had figures as a child you'd play with. I had a Canadian mounted police figure that was a Cowboys Canadian mounted police. So when our first event in Canada, at some moment, I want to be dressed as a Canadian mounted police officer, red jacket, that cool hat, and
yes.
Let's rock it. So, Fernando, I want you dressed as a Canadian mounted police officer, Adam, as well. Hey, it's Fun Friday. Don't forget your fun, aspirational goddess, Zeus. Love people. Love yourself with boundaries. Have a super fun day. Zeused up action steps. Let's take it. Let's